talk will be in English. I hope everybody here is okay with English. Why English? Because I have a goal to bring more and more English-speaking participants to this event, and I saw already a lot of more participants come here, and I think this is pretty cool because any other event in Europe is always in English, and everybody can share their experiences and contribute. So let's talk in English, and I hope questions and answers and your communication will be also in English. The subject of my topic is distributed Drupal team, not an option but reality. It's our current state of our team. We don't have pretty much experience in this sphere, but for us it's already reality. That's why I decided to talk with you. Not to talk for you, but to talk with you, to communicate with you about this subject. Still have some notifications. My name is A Pazhyn. I'm CEO of Kharkiv Drupal shop Any4Soft. We're on the market for more than 5 years already. Used to be another name of the company. Now we are Any4Soft. You may see some green t-shirts here. Okay. So the question for you, who likes to work at the office? Okay, that's pretty good. And who likes to work from home or maybe some another city or country? Almost half and half. And this is cool. This is the main idea of my speech as well, because I don't like to be, when it is related to people, I don't like to be on one side or another side. It always should be some balance. Okay, let's talk more about you. Who we are here? Who is backend developer here? Cool. Front-end developer? Yeah, that could be merged. It's okay. Project managers? Yeah. QA? No QA. That's surprising. Sales? Cool. And maybe CXOs, some officers, chief executive officer, somebody, business owners as well. So this is really good. Only QA like in here. I think we can speak to organizers that we need to bring our QA also on these events to know more about Drupal. Distributed team, virtual, remote. There are a lot of different definitions for this. For these teams, and we will talk about this modern approach for the work. Basically, it's already not an option as it is listed in my subject. It is about being competitive in this fast-changing world. We need to be able to scale, and there is no other choice to work. So we need to create distributed teams and experiment with them and learn fast, because it's anyway it is new for us. It is new, and we have to do a lot of experiments and learn fast and develop all the time. What the advantages I see for the business? So we have larger talent pool because every community in every city is limited, and we're being able to work remotely, work as a distributed team. We have ability to find better talents, interesting talents in other cities, in other locations, in even other countries. And sometimes we also need some specific developer with some real skill set. For example, it could be a project manager with good understanding of Drupal. Sometimes in local environments it could be hard to find. That's why this is also an option to join the team with some specific skill set. Or maybe it could be some React developers that is also not available in your city. Scalability. With this option, you're able to scale your business. You're able to integrate in your team more people and start projects faster. Because remote teams is not only about being hired in some company, it's also about partnership. So you're able to scale your approach with your clients when you collaborate with other partners, with other teams, in your country or outside your country. This is how a lot of companies in our sphere works, and this is cool. We are able to do it, and we have standards. We are able to start it. We don't need a huge distance to come to this process. We can start fast. Also, advantages for business is less overhead. So what I mean is we have saving costs. We don't need to get another bigger office. We can scale working from home. We can work from other locations, and we don't need bigger office. We don't need to buy more and more furniture and services and a lot of different stuff that usually needs for the teams in-house. Saving on taxes. This is also an option for our partners from Europe, from United States, and also for our partners from other countries. For example, if we work with some team from outside of Ukraine, we don't need to pay taxes for this team. We are paying taxes only for our revenue, and they are paying taxes to their employees. And this is also kind of advantages for the business because you save money. Better team effectiveness. This is also based on team members themselves because if they can operate better, if they don't need to spend their time for commuting, we'll talk the next slide about it. You have better organized teams, you have more effective team members, and this is also advantage. And better processes in this sphere. You have to bring more and more documentation. You have to build your processes from scratch and build it as much as possible because in other case it will not happen. If you don't have some clear processes in your team, in your organization, it will not work. That's why as a result you have better processes and you can work, you can base on this, and the business becomes more and more predictable. There are also some disadvantages for business. We have less personal team involvement because the distributed remote workers, they are working from home, they don't communicate to each other, to people, so the involvement is not on the same level when you work from one location. For business also, retention is harder because again you don't have this personal involvement, and to retain a person you need to bring challenging tasks. You need to anyway build some team spirit, and so it is in fact harder than to retain in your office. Processes are harder. As I say, you cannot easily talk to people, do this or do that. It should be documented and should be expected, and everybody should understand when they join the team. They need to understand what is the expectation and how to work and what is the workflow, and everything should be clear. So this is harder. You need to spend this time to clarify the processes. This is hard. Stability, based on the first three items, stability is also not on the same level because when you have in-house team, you understand this is your team, this is your people, and when everybody is remote, you don't see the whole picture like physically. You need to scale on another profile to understand this. Okay, let's talk about some advantages for people, for your team members. This is first of all, you don't need to wear. You can actually don't wear anything. You can work from your home with just in shorts, and this is okay. To go to the office in our society in IT, we don't need to wear suits, but still there is some expectation for the people. You need to be on the same level, and here you can wear whatever you want. No transportation, no more commuting. This is the global approach in the world. A lot of freelancers and a lot of remote teams. You don't need to spend time to go from home to the office and back. this is cool. This is time saving. This is also, we don't have like the best transportation in Ukraine. So this is really good. Then you don't need to spend all this time. You're able to work flexible hours. You don't need to start at 9 and finish at 5 and be with all the crowd in the subway. You have really flexible hours. If the processes in organization are clear, you can start early in the morning, have some hours of work, then you can have a break or some family time, then you can continue. So you can rely on your activity hours and do the work, do the contribution only when you're the most effective. You can work from any location. For example, in our team, we have people working in our office. We have also who works in Kharkiv but from home on a full-time basis. And we have some people in Lusk. We have a developer from Kropyvnytsky. We have a team also in other countries and in other cities and our partners. So this is cool. And some developers and project managers can go to another country and work from there. For example, our CEO went to Thailand for 2 months and worked from there and on the same level, on the same schedule with us. And he felt really good. So he had a lot of experience, new experience, working and living from another country and still working in the same company. You don't need to have this long break to have this long travel. For me personally, I can go to vacation. As I'm CEO, I don't have actually vacations, but I can go to vacation and work from this city, from this location. And this is also cool because if there was no processes, there was no possibility and technologies, I should have break and the company should work without me. Okay. Also, kind of advantages could be, for sometimes it could be your personal computer. There are some fans in IT and developers can build their own machine with huge amount of memory and it is adjusted like just for you and this is your computer and sometimes this is also cool. You have access to home food, so you don't need to get some food in office, you don't need to wear it up, so this is good. You have healthy food. Most of the time you have healthy food at home. Family time, you're able to get kids from kindergarten, from school, and to continue your work. This is also an advantage. You can listen to your favorite loud music. Our tech lead likes to listen to Russian rap, and other team that doesn't like when he does this. That's why he can work from home. He can turn on Russian rap, and only his neighbors trying to survive. You can code with your cat. Again, the same tech lead. He always code with his cat. Cat is laying on his table and sleeping, but while he's coding. Yeah. Disadvantages. Again, always we have some disadvantages as well. So no shoes, no ties. This is also kind of a disadvantages. If you wear only shorts or some old t-shirt, this is also in a long time period could be not really good for your personality. You have actually less corporate parties. You don't come to each and every corporate party because if you are working from another city, this is hard. Even if you work from home, this is not so often. You're not able to just to stay in an office after working hours and grab a couple of beers with your teammates. There is no strict schedule. For some people, this is a disadvantage because you can stretch your working hours for the whole day, and in this case, you can work all day. You have less personal communication. You don't have this sociality. You don't have this social connections with your teammates. And for a short time, it could be great, and it really depends on people. For a long time period, it could be really hard to work on your own and to rely on communications using technologies. Another disadvantages, you have fridge with home food, and you have TV, and you have family members who can switch this TV or who can grab something from fridge. So this is all about personality of each and every person. Challenges. We have a lot of challenges working with remote teams. And first challenge is culture. So the culture is more about when you work with other countries. For example, if we have our partners from United States and working with our developers, we have a little bit different culture. And if we compare with some Indians or Pakistanis, they have yet another culture. So this is a really huge challenge if you really need to scale up to the next level and you need to involve teams from different culture. This will be a huge culture challenge. But still you have some options to overcome this challenge. You should build some corporate culture, and based on these rules inside your organization, and put the local culture on the second level to keep it for person. Language. This is also could be a challenge. In our case, we have a team working from the West Coast and from the East Coast, like US people likes to say, and we have Russian-speaking and Ukrainian-speaking speaker people. And in this case, it's in Ukraine. I think it's okay. Everybody can understand both of language, and everybody can speak both languages in most of cases. And this is not a big deal. But still, you need to find some common language and use it at least for documentation. For your processes, you need to have a single language. In our case, it is English. All our communication in the projects we keep in English. It also could be clear for our customers. Time zones. Time zones, again, when we work everybody in Ukraine, this is not a deal because we are in the same time zone. But when you go to another part of the globe, you need to shift your usual daily activities within the time zone to overlap as much as possible with your team. If it is yet another time zones, like everybody you're working with customers from US, there is always some place for overlapping hours. We have evenings, they have mornings, and we should bring our common activities for these times, for these time slots. And again, if processes are clear and there is always some part of the job to be done, this is okay. You just need to find some good hours for both sides and work and meet during these hours. Communication is one of the big challenges in working remotely. I think it's also the case when you work in-house with the same team in the same room. But here you should build some team spirit, some small teams, and common communication routines. For example, if we have a project with remote developers, everybody should understand the expectations and roles within the team, and have at least some daily greetings in the morning. And if you need to go to some location, you need to warn your team that you will not be behind computer for next couple of hours. So if they will need you, they need to plan it in this time of period. So this is a challenge. It's also could be overcome by writing some clear rules, some simple and clear rules for your team. And in this case, it works. Lack of trust for team members. If you don't see this person for you, if you don't have coffee with him or her, trust is another challenge. And here we need to collaborate as much as possible. We need as much as more meetings and discussions and relying on people, give them some psychological safety, that they are safe to have mistakes, and we're working as a team, we can help to each other. That's why we can also overcome this trust issues and build this trust within the team. And everybody in the team also should understand his personal meaning, his personal impact to the project. So it should not be just do a lot of tasks and get your money. It should be when you do the tasks, you have a result, and this result should be shared. You should greet your team and say that this is the result of the whole team and everybody is important in this process. For management, another challenge is lack of visibility. So you're not able to come to the person and say, just quick ask what I'm doing and see on his screen what exactly he's doing. So this is not, you don't have this ability of micromanagement. From the other side, this is also a good stuff. You need to rely on the workflow, on the process, and you need to have regular sync-ups with your team. And also, top management should have regular sync-ups with project managers on each and every project to see every week to see the progress, and if we keep the budget as expected, if we keep the scope, if we keep the quality level, and if the customer is happy. So it should be done on a regular basis, not to wait until it fails. Also, team workload reviews. In our team, we have regular workload meetings with our project managers, and we plan for the next weeks who will be responsible for what projects and who will work on what project. And we're trying to dedicate one developer for one project as much as possible, so he should not switch from one project to another project all the time. So this should be minimized. And when there is, we have this challenge, when there is a big office, when it starts in one location and another location, there are another group of, or just personal and just personalities in another city. There is also a challenge when you have us and when you have them. So that there is not the whole team at the beginning, and it's always in communications starting from you are there and we are here, and it is different in the mindset of our people. But we can also try to overcome here with face-to-face meetings, build project teams to build as much as more communications on within the team, within a small team. So not it is hard to work to understand the big team when you work on every project in the organization. It is better to have some smaller teams with more and more engagement with personalities. And face-to-face meetups like this camp, we came here from Kharkiv, from Lutsk, from Kropivnitsky, and everybody can meet here, drink some beer, and talk about the challenges, and meet in person, and understand each one, just get acquainted. I have a question for you about formal and informal communication. There is a big, holy war about communications for within the team. If maybe you heard about Yegor Bugayenko, he is actually from Kyiv, but working and living from United States. He has a team, and they don't have any informal communications. So any Skype or messaging or calling or phones, everything is prohibited. The only tool for communication is issue tracker, so you can communicate with your team only with tickets. And this is actually prohibited in the whole organization to talk in person. And in this case, you're not able to say, hey, please fix this one, then it could be somewhere lost. So as much formal as possible. what do you think about working as remote teams? If in what cases we should go to more formal or more informal communication? Do you have any ideas?
Any tasks that must be done can be gathered and must be gathered only in issue trackers, so systems like Redmine or Jira, so on and so forth. But informal communication, it's not about taking tasks or giving tasks. It's about giving understanding of the tasks. It's giving about business logic, I don't know, personal attitude of project manager about the tasks and so on.
Okay. Other ideas?
Для запису на відео треба балакати в мікрофон.
Andrei, thank you.
Далі, давайте я перенесу.
So for formal communication, I believe that most important thing is to use it for vertical communications. When you discuss processes, when you discuss business, and when you work with corporate clients which not accept actually informal communications, like big enterprise, like Johnson & Johnson, etc., etc. But when you work with your colleagues, when you have horizontal communications, having formal is disadvantage because it's really tough to build the corporate culture when you have formal communications with colleagues. So also informal communication is possible for enterprise client when you have long story with them. When you, for example, work with a client for years, then having formal can break your relations at all, because when you work face to face with any human, humans like depend from the good attitude, from the like informal things, and when you deny this, it's always the major point when you lost your clients.
Yes, I agree. There is also a common thing that there is already not business to business, not B2B, but it is human to human, even when we talk about big enterprises. Okay, I have a few words about our current tool set, because tool sets and workflow, this is the definition of behavior in the distributed teams. What we use Google Apps, really common thing. We have all the appointments within our team and with our clients in calendar. We gather our estimations, contracts, documents in Google as well, as it could be collaborated and could be shared between all the participants easily. Project source files, specifications and planning, we also bring in one folder for the project. Invoicing still in Google Docs. We use a lot Google Hangouts for our online meetings. It's also integrated with Slack, and it's cool, sometimes Skype with customers. The main issue tracker and the main process wiki and everything that should be understandable for the new team member is written in Wiki, so in our Redmine. So you go in one place and read everything there, and the same is when you join another project. You have project architecture there. You have the workflow. We have the artifacts, the planning. Everything is Redmine, and it's clear. So you don't need to. The project manager don't need to clarify this for each and every developer all the time. It is already there. We have also sprint planning there, issue tracking, bug tracking. We use Agile board. It helps to understand the bigger picture of the project. And communication, we don't have this extreme part when we have all the formal or all the informal communication, but we try to bring as much as more possible communication about the task only in Redmine. So it's not, we don't try to describe the task in Slack or in person. It's better to describe it in issue, and also communicate about this task also in issue tracking, because we can keep the history. When you talk about in person, history is lost, and the position could be also lost. We use GitLab and GitLab CI for version controlling, for code review, for skill sharing as well. When you do a code review, you can see how it's being done, and this is also kind of sharing the expertise. And GitLab CI do auto deployment for us, and also code sniffers, checking the code standards, and so on. Slack and Skype already discussed. And processes, we have project planning, sprint planning, daily meetings, daily reports for our customers and for the team. We have, again, clear workflow in the Redmine. We have continuous deployment to show the results all the time to the team and the QA and the customer. QA, sprint demos, each sprint should be shown, and we have the SLA tracked on every time. And also we have account management to understand the relationship with our customers. We're trying not to make it really formal. We're trying to understand the personality of our customer, and account manager help a lot with this. But try not to use the similar tools for the same purposes. We used to have Wiki, a separate Wiki. Now we have everything in one place. And when you have the similar tools for the one purpose, it could be not as easy. It could be confusing for people. So, and don't write too much of processes. Every time I say that you need to write everything in Wiki and to make it clear, but still try to keep some space for creativity and self-development. Because if you write all the scripts or how to build everything, you will have robots, but not people who can bring some more into your organization and make it better. And I don't know if we still have one or two questions. Maybe it's some tips and tricks from you, because we just studying this, and I think maybe you have some tips and tricks or questions about remote work with team. Yes, Andrew.
How to get vacation when you sell off any resources?
How to get a vacation? Yeah, this is my goal. When I'm a CEO, to make it happen, I need to bring processes and check the processes as much as possible. If I understand that the team can work and it is clear for everyone, when I don't need to water the fire, in this case, I believe that I can get some vacation, not only 1 or 2 days, but some long period vacation. So the processes and skilled people, I think this is two keys here. Any other tips and tricks? Who works remotely?
Thank you for presentation. How many people do you have in your company in total?
At this moment, we have 37.
Okay. And you mentioned this face-to-face meetups.
Yeah.
I think it's a good practice. What do you have them besides some Drupal events for your internal meetups for your company, and what do you usually do during this
Not
meetups?
yet. We actually just started to grow as remote teams, so we started to make it around some Drupal activities, because this is a good case. And I think, but we already have some planned corporate events to bring the team members together. But no, I don't have pretty much experience here.
Maybe how do you share some progress of your company with your team?
Yeah, this is a good question. Actually, 1.5 years, 2 weeks ago, we had a company-wide meeting. It was booked in all the calendars. We have it during our working hours. So we say everybody that this is a really important meeting. Everybody should hold their current project, and we gather in one room, in the biggest room of our office, all in-house developers, and we join everybody else on our on just a in-house call, and everybody can listen to the presentation of the results of our past projects and past progress, and planning for the future. And it was really cool to hear also the feedback from the team, and understand and be flexible how we should go further.
talk about the space of developer creativity.
Yep.
How you control it? Because something after some
Communication. As much as more communication. So you have to speak to your developers, to your participants. At the beginning, you need to speak a little bit more with your girlfriend when you start to meet. But then it should be just a daily sync-ups when it's, yeah, so it's just about communication. So you need to understand we have this ability to make mistakes, but we have to understand and to plan this to understand what should be done in the nearest future. Are we able to implement it here, or maybe we should try it in another period, or maybe another project. So this is we have all this communication. Slack is a really good tool for chatting here, and we can discuss some particular subjects and don't lose it somewhere in a big flow of Skype communication, for example.
But it spends a lot of time, I guess.
No, actually not, because we have this regular meetups, stand-ups in the mornings, and if we need some more, it could be also 10 or 15 minutes somewhere during the day. So the whole day is for doing tasks, and we have this team sync-ups, and for like a technology department, if we have a meeting with tech lead or with this team of backenders or Drupal developers, we can do it like on a monthly basis to gather everybody on the Hangouts call and to speak about ideas and collaborate about it.
Thank you.
One more question.
Thank you. Question about corporate culture that you have in your company. Please tell something more about that. In my personal experience, I remember from previous work a girl, actually a woman, that was not good at corporate culture. She was smoking a lot and not pleasant person, but she was very good at work. And I thought that actually corporate culture not required too much for remote workers. What can you say about that?
I'll try to answer this question. We have this, we're trying to solve it not as a result, we're trying to solve it on the beginning when we hire people. We have like our common understanding what is our like if we talk about team members, we can also relate to them like who is our client. So we understand the values, the common values should be for our team members. We should be like on the same line with these people. We have at least 3 interviews with our different participants before the team member join our team. That's why we're trying to solve it on the very beginning. But as a result, again, we have some possibility to change the behavior or to understand, to get the feedback and to change the company or to change the developer, some particular behavior. And if it is not able to fix, we have to break. This is also the case. This is business. I don't know if we have. Okay, one.
I have a short question. Do you try any other backtrackers before choice Redmine? Why Redmine?
Actually, this is historical. We started it 6 years ago, and it's worked for us pretty good. We use Jira a lot on other projects. We also used UTrack and some other backtrackers. And in my personal opinion, this is really subjective, but in my personal opinion, Redmine is pretty stable and clear. It doesn't have a lot of overhead like Jira has. Jira has a lot of great tools inside it, but it also has some overhead, and we're trying to keep it stupid simple, and Redmine is cool for us.
So you mentioned that in distributed team it's tough to communicate directly with team members, right? So my question is about knowledge exchange and mentorship. How in your team it happens, how you share your skills, grow up people, and actually mentor other guys in your team.
Yeah, thank you for the question. We just starting to build this process. It's not good enough for this moment, but still on the base level we have Slack. We have a general team for some general things and department channels where we share some our common processes, current projects, and technology channels. We have Drupal backend, front-end channels when we share some skills, some knowledge within the just Slack communications. We also have regular, we call it Drupal beer talks. So we gather in the office and we also doing hangouts on air, and somebody prepares some presentation and speak about some subjects that he wants to share, and everybody are able to ask questions and to talk about it. And so we have really informal things here, and it's on a regular basis. Everybody can bring something in it. And as well, as I said, we also use code review on our projects, and this is also kind of sharing knowledge sharing tool, because you see how it's being done, what are the tools, and so you can ask questions, get on a call. If it is remote, this is usually happen. If somebody has experience, you get on a call and discuss the subject. Okay, I think this is enough. Thank you very much for your questions. Time for the next.
Дякую за доповідь. І невеличка наша грамота. Так, урочиста пісня на англійській. Вітаємо. Дякую.